Hi, and welcome to another episode of From a Woman to a Leader, a podcast dedicated to discussing the unique challenges women face in the tech industry. I'm your host, Limor Bergman Gross, and today I have a pleasure speaking with Dr. Syreeta Bond. And we are going to get real about challenges, discrimination, biases against Black women in tech. She shares very openly her own challenges and also good things and strategies, how she find allies and how she faced those challenges. She also shares her entrepreneurial journey. Tune in, especially if you are a woman of color or if you care about supporting women of color in the tech industry. Hi, Syreeta. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Leora. I'm excited to be here.
Likewise, likewise. And let's dive right in. And the first question I have for you is, can you provide some insights into unique challenges that Black women face in corporate environments, particularly within the tech industry?
Yes, the biggest one that I actually personally experienced is not having a support system, for one, someone to advocate for you for your self development, for promotions, anything of the sort. Another thing is not being respected as an equal, especially in the rooms where you're the only one, in the work that you do, your intelligence is questioned. It's so challenging as a Black woman in tech and just in corporate in general. You having your work double checked, an explanation as to why you chose a certain process, like maybe you didn't choose the particular process that they see. Maybe you want something more efficient, so you'll get questioned about that, questioned about the decisions that you're making. And another thing would be like just speaking differently around your coworkers. I know a lot of Black women that actually do like code switching, which is meaning like speaking differently around your coworkers. You customize your style of speech to the audience, and not just being comfortable or being your true authentic self. And that is challenging as well. Not showing up as your true authentic self, changing your hair, changing the way you dress, not wearing your normal things that make you happy, big earrings, anything like that. So that all takes a toll on how you work in corporate and in tech.
Absolutely, yeah. And being authentic to who you are, and this is something I hear a lot with women that they say, "Well, I want to be me. I don't want to be anyone else."
Yes, because it impacts the way you work. When I show up for work, I have to be comfortable. I have to, be comfortable in what I'm wearing. So that way I'm just, one, I'm being my authentic self. And two, I'm going to do great work if I'm not worrying about what someone's going to say. That's the key.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like you can't impact my mental health just because I wore my bamboo earrings today. Like, don't ask me about it. If I wet my hair straight today, but it's curly tomorrow, it's short the Friday. Does that matter? We're here to work.
Yeah,
To judge
absolutely.
so that can impact you. I need to be comfortable and I need to be me. And then I'll just freely kick butt in what I do.
For sure. And can you share maybe how you share some of the obstacles you mentioned, like, not being trusted and not having support?
Yes. Well, I mean, I remember a few situations where I was sitting in meetings and I would explain something, like this is the reason why this is happening. And then someone would mansplain it for me. And I'm just like, what are you doing? And mansplaining, there actually is a true definition for this, is to
Hmm.
explain something to a woman in a condescending way that assumes that she has no knowledge about it. And it also could be like they could just explain it to the wider audience as if you didn't clearly articulate it. Now, sometimes I could see that, okay, maybe I didn't make it super clear, and someone would jump in. But to actually repeat exactly what I just said when I just said it, that is so rude. And the way,
Absolutely.
so I'm just like, what? Am I chopped liver? Like, what did I do? Like, how, did I not explain it? I had someone actually repeat exactly what I said in the meeting, and everyone was like, oh, okay. I just said that. I just said that. So sometimes I just blow it off because I'm used to it happening, honestly. But for someone that if it really impacted you, then be fearless and just like side chat them. Like, hey, did I not explain anything clearly? Because I felt like you just explained what I just said, and I felt like that was rude. And, they may be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that I did that. Most people don't know that they're doing it. But that's just a step that you can take as a Black woman or even as a woman in general. So, that it doesn't happen again. You do have to address the behaviors that are impacting you. And I know a lot of women, me personally as well, just let a lot of things go. But don't, if you're going to let it go, don't let it eat you up inside. That's the thing. If it's eating you up inside, you have to let that out. You have to address that person, even just vent to your manager. You have to address it in some way so you can just let it go. But it's just, things like that. It just makes it
Yeah.
so
And I
like,
have never heard the term mansplaining, so I'll take that, I'll adopt that. I wish we don't have this, but
I
we do.
know.
I've witnessed this too. One question I have for you is like, yes, if you see this kind of behavior, this is something I doubted myself also during my career. Do you address it like in the room, like in front of other people, call someone out? Or you just kind of say, okay, I'll absorb it and then go after the meeting to that person in person and saying, hey, what you did was wrong and so forth. What do you
Well,
think?
honestly, it really depends on the audience. I would say that it's always best to address them individually and on the side, because it could really turn into a really awkward situation when you're in a meeting and you're like addressing other peers, you're addressing leadership, and then you kind of like bring this up. That may make you look weak, which is not the case. So I say it's always, always diplomatic, it's always professional to address that person directly. And then you can bring other parties involved if that conversation actually goes haywire, or, he's like, well, I don't know what your problem is. It could be anything like that. You always want to set that aside, like personally and face to face. That's like more mature and more professional to do. But I mean, I've seen some people in meetings just go off and it totally disrupts the meeting, and everybody just loses focus and focused on that. Like nothing but that was trying to be accomplished in the meeting was done. Everybody just focused right on, oh, they were arguing. You don't want that.
Yeah, and I think one of the challenges is that you don't want to be perceived as aggressive, right? And
Yeah.
this is one of the challenges women face when they stand up for themselves. Like this, oh, she is so aggressive.
Yeah. Oh, she's emotional. Oh gosh, here we go again. Like, why would you bring that up here? Yeah, that's why I'm gonna bring it up on the side. That's the best way to handle it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned support system. This is very important because if you do have support, someone else can call that out, and then it's being perceived differently.
Yes. That's the beauty of it when someone actually fights for you in the meeting and you don't have to do anything. Oh, that sets the stage, especially if they're like of leadership, like they're above your pay grade or above everyone's pay grade, and stick up for you in the meeting. That is just like a win when you're just like, yes, thank you. And then you slack them on the side and say, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. This has happened before, or anything like that. And they're like, oh no, and you can actually like build that relationship or side chat them and actually get them not only as your sponsor, but someone that can advocate for you all the time, which is a beautiful thing because it's rare. It's very rare in the industry.
It's rare, but we need to see more of that. So I'm calling all the men out there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
stop those things from happening and support other women, especially women of color, even more so black women, and don't let that happen. We need
Yes.
your support.
Yes. Allyship is key.
Yeah. Other than mansplaining, we talked about that. Have you faced any other, maybe biases against you or discrimination in the workplace?
Oh, wow. Yes. I mean, being in different environments, being overlooked for promotions. I would never forget going for a promotion at the same time with someone like a Caucasian woman. Like me and her were both going for the same promotion. We both had great interviews. I know I killed it. I know I had the more experience. I had more tenure. And when it came down to who was going to get it, of course, she got the promotion. I felt like I was snubbed like a Grammy. I felt like I was snubbed. And when I got the feedback back saying, okay, this is the reason why you didn't get it, it was like, you actually did great. Both of you did really great. So why I didn't, like, why didn't I receive the promotion? We just went with the other person. Wow. Okay, great. So it's just like, no, if there was no clear reason on what I did wrong, then I felt like that was discrimination and or just like a race based, and I didn't do anything about it. I just let it go. I actually ended up leaving that job like a few months later. But it still impacted me negatively because then when I showed up for work, I was just like, whatever. So I had to leave that toxic environment. It was toxic anyway, but still, so that really like hurt me. And then I also had a situation where I just started at this job. I would say I was there like a few months, 6 months, and another position opened up. Now the thing was that the position that opened up, it was managerial position. The previous job I had was the same exact position, managerial. So I said, "Oh, I got the experience. Boom, I could come. I could start." So when I went to apply, I had to talk to my leader, like, "Hey, I'm interested in applying for this managerial role. It's exactly what I used to do before I came here." And he said, "I don't even think you can handle the interview, so I'm not even going to let you apply for it."
What?
Exactly. I was like, but I used to do this job before I came here. This was my job for 2 years before I came here. No, it's the questions are a little bit different, and I just don't think you can do it. That right there set me on a path of pure, like, not to say vengeance, but I would say I had the motivation and fire inside of me to just excel and prove him wrong and anybody else wrong that did not believe in me. Like it was on from there. Like I finished my MBA. I actually applied for other jobs all the jobs without even consulting with him. It's not like he was just the top manager, the hiring manager for that position. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm never going through you again. Like it was on. It was on. That just instilled a fire in me to just surpass everyone that ever doubted me, everyone that said I couldn't apply for anything or just didn't. I just always got overlooked. Oh, honey, okay, it's on now. And it's just like that's how I fought back against everything that was ever like race or discrimination based, is that I excelled in other areas. And it could be that you need to leave that environment. That's okay. It's okay to leave. You don't have to stay in that war. You can go ahead and just be like, you know what, that's it, I'm done, I'm going to where I'm appreciated. That is completely okay. But if you want to stand there and fight, and I did stand there and fight because I stayed with the company for a while, and stand there and fight, do it. Do it with grace and show them. Prove that person wrong. That's going to be your goal. You want to excel. You want to, progress. You want to do that. But underneath all of it is to prove that person wrong.
That's
So
wonderful, but this is also very hard. So, how do you get the strength to do that, right? I mean, facing that biases against you, but still
yeah,
saying, hey, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to excel. I'm going to work harder.
yeah. But this is the thing. Don't think that that person is the end all be all. That person was just a manager. They weren't even a senior manager. They really didn't have, they just had, that was their personal opinion. Okay. Go like do your research. go into the policy. What's the policy for posting out? Can you do it within 6 months? Can you do it within a year? Have your backup from an HR perspective too. But then also, don't think that that person is going to just be the one that controls your development. It's not like that. It's not at all. And then you find other managers or other leaders, even senior managers, executive leaders, build relationships with them, start to get your network up. Because that one person that hindered you from moving forward is not the one person that's going to like alter your whole career trajectory. That's not how it works. And that I think that we get that perception when we're dealing with like the same manager team or something like that. Oh gosh, well, if they're not going to co-sign for me, if they're not going to sponsor me, no, honey, you can go outside of that. Go outside of that. Then they're
Yeah.
not the end all be all. And I think that's the key to keep like to get the fire up inside of you, especially when you start building relationships with people that are way above. It's beautiful. And they're like, oh, you know what, you would be a great person for this. I feel the same way. Like definitely don't think that that one little comment or that one opinion or that one person that stopped you from before is going to keep stopping you, because that's not the case.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't kind of take that person as one person,
Mhm.
definitely not everyone. And you
Mhm.
mentioned building relationships strategically with people at the higher ups. Any other
Yes.
strategies that you have for Black women that face maybe some biases against them or discrimination in the workplace?
uh like I said before, I didn't report a lot of things, and I could have. And I tell everyone that actually like confides in me when they run into a situation, or any of my mentees, if you want to take it to that level of actually reporting it, make sure that you're prepared for that fight, having documentation of some kind, emails, messages, anything like that, and be prepared for it to not actually go in your favor. It may go in your favor, but it may not. A lot of things get just disproven, or they can't prove it, or that person explained it very well, saying that, oh no, it wasn't meant like that. I don't know why they would think that. And then it kind of gets thrown out. But a lot of cases go all the way to where that person is actually coached or on some type of warning or things like that. You may get moved from a team. Prepare for those battles that are going to happen if you report it. And they always have a policy. Most places that I've worked at always have a policy where there's no retaliation or anything like that. Mm, there may be a little bit, or you may get side eye, or they're like, oh God, yeah, that's the person that don't say nothing around her. Be prepared for that. Be
Mm-hmm.
prepared for that, because it happens all the time. You may be ignored. You may not, your friends that you thought were your friends may just shy away from you. So that I think that's why a lot of people don't actually push forward with actually like filing discriminations or filing complaints, because it gets really funky and awkward in the environment. But if you can stand beyond that, if you can stand strong in what you felt and how you felt like this impacted you mentally, and emotionally, and you can articulate it in a way, and you have your receipts, you have the proof that this is continuing to happen, then go for it. Do it. Or you could just leave. You
Yeah,
can
and
leave.
as you mentioned, sometimes leaving, sometimes you have to leave.
Yeah, like it's just so weird, and so toxic, and it's just if it this is the thing. Your mental health. Everyone talks about mental health, and it's the mental space, your peace. Your job is already stressful. And now you got to deal with the people around you too. And then they're not supportive. And then you're constantly getting like called things, or you got these weird sideways comments happening all the time. It's just like it takes a toll on you. I have been My intelligence was insulted like the first like few months of starting a new job overseas, and my intelligence was insulted every single day. It was just, oh my gosh. And it was just brutal. But I stayed and ran through it, and we actually ended up building a good relationship by the time I left. But those first few months, oh, they treated me like the new kid, and not knowing anything and all that. It was brutal. But you really do have to be strong and have thick skin in order to kind of like fight through the toxicity, or you can leave. And when my 2-year contract was up at that time, and they were like, "Well, what do you want to do?" I'm leaving. I'm going home. I
Yeah,
can't wait to go home. And I took all the learnings and everything, and actually moved forward even more. I knew that that part of my career was going to catapult me forward to where I wanted to be now. So it's just, yeah, it's really, really like difficult to do this. Think about it, be very strategic, and actually like think about what you're trying to do, what your goals are. Do you want to take it to that level? Do you want to just go ahead and leave? It's okay. Either decision you make is okay. Know that you didn't make a
absolutely.
wrong decision. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
stand in your in what you decided to do.
Any tips do you have for the companies? What they can do to make Black women feel like they belong and
Yeah.
help them thrive?
Yeah, and I mean, but I say all these negative things, but I've actually had some really good experiences with great managers as well. And I wish that all my managers I've ever worked for did this, but there are great people that actually love their employees and know that being a leader is seeing your team succeed. They strongly believe that. So it didn't matter that I was black or white, woman, man, and everything. They just wanted their team, their direct reports to move up, and they supported your development. That is so, it's not rare because there are a lot of managers that do this. I wish as companies they enforce that message. That's the key. With black women in corporate cultures, and just like anyone in general, and I'm speaking like women in general, black women, like other races and things like that, you had to make the inclusion real and genuine. And you need to put your leadership teams in the perspective like your team is meant to succeed you or develop or move forward or do everything they want to do that their hearts desire. Like you're supposed to be there and advocate for them. I don't think a lot of companies enforce that message. Or maybe you're just hiring the wrong people. They're saying, "Oh yeah, I love my team," and then when they get there, like they're a-holes. So it's just like, ah, if they had that, if it comes from the top up, if you put that message out, build up, advocate for your teammates, support your reports, support them. If they want to move past you, let them. I don't think that message is going out. And it's like, and it's not like, this is the other thing about like all the issues with black women in corporate. Why should we're not the ones, we shouldn't have to create this policy. You understand? Like, we are tired of telling you what to do.
Yeah,
We're doing the work.
absolutely.
you
And I
know,
want to make sure that we talk also about your business, the fashion business that you have.
yes,
And
yes,
you are also the CEO of
yes,
Edgy Opulence Lifestyle. I hope I pronounce it properly.
yes. Edgy Opulence Lifestyle Branding Co.
Oh, right. So tell us a
Yes.
little bit about it and what inspired you to create it.
Yes. Well, I inspired it from being overseas. That's when this company started. When I was working in Dubai, and I'm someone that's like very high risk, edgy. But then I was in surrounded by all this opulence and luxury and everything, and it started off as my fashion blog, and then it just kind of propelled into, okay, how can I take my project management experience and my fashion and all of the lifestyle things, and how can I create like something that kind of like all meshes together and interconnected, but then also help people and service people from a business side standpoint. And that's how Edgy Opulence Lifestyle Branding Co. started. It's a consulting firm that I do where I'm really project management focused, but I help with global strategies. And if your business wants to become sustainable, I can help you with that. How do you convert your business model into more project management focused business models? And I love it. It's because I'm so like into project management. Like project management is my passion. Fashion is my passion as well. Number one, fashion is number one, but number two is project management. And I just kind of like mesh them together to create this beautiful company.
That's beautiful. And how did your background kind of influence your Afro Latina background influence the overall identity of the
Yes,
company.
yes. Well, I'm me. I have to be me. And
Yeah.
how I said earlier, like embracing your identity and everything. I used to, uh, be super quiet and like try to dress like everyone and all that. And then I was just not happy. And it's weird because once I actually just said, okay, I'm just going to be me. I'm gonna wear my hair curly and afro. I'm gonna put my big earrings on because they make me happy. And I'm gonna just like dress, still business casual, but I'm gonna wear things that I like. And that actually like helped like with my authenticity. It actually just like made it more noticeable, made me better as a person, and my work ethic shot up, and I was very comfortable. So I use that in my business and in my fashion business too. I bring out everything that I love. Because I always receive compliments on, oh, I love these earrings. Oh, I love how you put that together. Your style is amazing. I pour all of that into my fashion business. So all my Afro Latina-ness, all the luxury, the edgy opulence of like big gold and well, I don't have like really big, you know, rhinestone earrings now. Because the hoops are just like
Yeah.
that's your capsule. But big hoops and big jewelry, things like that. Everything's a statement pieces because I always make a statement in one way or another with what I'm wearing, whether it be the jewelry or what the print, the color, whatever. I pour all that into Lipstick Killers Collection, my fashion company.
That's wonderful. And how do you kind of balance the creative parts and
Mhm.
the parts of, running a business?
Oh man, it took me a while. I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, I was like, "Oh my god!" Because in the beginning, I was sewing and oh, like running the business, trying to market, do fashion shows. It was insane, and they don't teach you all this in fashion school. At nothing like nothing compared to the store. You learn hands on, which is okay. But as I became more business focused in like receiving my MBA and then my doctoral and everything, I started to really kind of like, oh, I can automate certain things. So I have a lot of automation involved. Just like leveling up the business operation side helps you keep your creative intact. And it's just so much easier really tapping into the platform and tools that you use. Like, so my store is backed in Shopify. They make things so easy. I love Shopify so much. So choosing your platform, making
Yeah.
sure that you can automate certain things in your process and have your operations and all of your strategic and everything done ahead of time. And then you can just move forward and keep your creative just going.
Yeah. And what do you think, what leadership qualities contributed to your success as the CEO of this company?
Oh, wow. Being very organized, being ambitious, managing my time very well, and being open to receiving feedback, I think that's a hard thing to do, no matter where you are. Because it hurts when somebody says, oh, this sucks. You're just like, okay, good. Thank you. But that I think actually makes you more mature. It makes you just build up and constantly strive for more, constantly strive for improvement, process improvement, focus, customer focus. Those are all things that I've used early on in my career and then transformed into my business and now like in my leadership and everything that I'm focusing on now. How can I be of service? How can I help? How can I improve your process? How can I help you achieve your goals? Kind of like taking everything that I used and then like putting that in a form of service. I think that's what made me like a really good leader right now.
Wonderful. Yeah. And where is it going next? Tell us a little bit about what your futures for this company. What kind of your plans?
Oh, wow. I want to help everyone. But I really want to just, help businesses take if they don't have a global plan or they need help with their global strategies, I really want to help them do that. And I see myself like just speaking more to different businesses, creating like processes for them, um, just promoting my book and traveling a lot. Like those are like my ultimate goals, is to send out the message and help businesses all over the world with, the processes that I kind of implemented for myself. So that's where I see myself.
That's wonderful plans. Anything else that you would like to share with our audience that maybe I haven't asked you, or you feel like you want to
Uh,
share?
yes, well, I did want to plug in my book. I have an upcoming
Yes,
book coming up.
that's
And
exciting.
yes, yes, I'm so excited for it. It's coming out in the spring. If you go on drsyreetabond.com, you will get all the updates, the release updates. You can help choose a book cover. I'm still in editing, so it's almost there. It's going to be released very, very soon. And it's called, if it's okay if I say the
Yeah,
title.
absolutely. Yeah, don't keep us in suspension.
It's called Unleash Your Inner Bad Bitch.
Wow.
And yes. And it talks about my experiences in different corporate environments, but then also how to navigate juggling it all: motherhood, spirituality, health, and the toxic environments, like what we discussed earlier as far as racism and things like that. It's going to be a really great book. And just stay on drsyreetabond.com to keep abreast on the updates and when it's going to be released.
Perfect. And definitely we'll put the link on the
Mhm.
show notes so everyone can find it.
Yes.
Sarita, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I love the questions. And oh man, anyone that's fighting for anything, just know that you're not alone. And there are women out here going through it too. Find your community, find your network, and just fight the good fight. We're here for
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And what's next? Next week, I'm going to interview Joya Joseph. Have you ever felt like you have to wear a mask at work just to fit in? Joya knows that feeling all too well. Joya Joseph will share her raw and powerful story of discrimination she faced as a Black woman pursuing her engineering dreams. It started actually from college when her professor was telling her she should quit because she doesn't belong. And she faced that also in the workplace. So, if you're a Black woman in tech or you passion about supporting women of color in the tech industry, this episode is for you. See you next week, and thank you so much for listening.